Welcome to my charcoal pencil tutorial. In my last video, I talked about how I think charcoal, but charcoal pencils in particular, are the best medium for beginners. So if you didn't see that, go check it out because I'll be getting straight to the point, no pun intended. To start off, we have the hard charcoal pencil, the medium charcoal pencil, and the soft charcoal pencil. The hard charcoal pencil appears the lightest out of the three, and it also smudges the least. The value and the smudginess of the medium pencil is proportionate to its description, and the soft charcoal pencil is the darkest and smudgiest variant. Here, I'm drawing some lines and smudging them so you can see how these pencils layer on top of each other. When I apply more pressure at a more upright angle, I get a finer line and the smudginess factor changes a little here. The hard charcoal doesn't smudge much over a deliberate design, whereas we get a lot of the smudge with the soft charcoal. Charcoal pencils are relatively erasable when you apply them in light pressures, so you'll want to stay light when you're mapping out your drawing. The hard charcoal has the most erasability with light pressure, and soft charcoal has the least. You may be wondering, what is the difference between the kinds of blending stumps? The longer the tip is, the better it is for covering a broad area, and the shorter and stumpier it is, the better it is for precision, generally. You can also clean them with a sanding stick as previously shown. Here's an example of blending a much larger area. As you can see, blending over these vertical lines make it so the vertical strokes are still visible. I sometimes erase and then create lines in the opposite direction to get a more consistent look. Always remember that when you're drawing with charcoal, you should think of your eraser as its own drawing tool, as opposed to something that just fixes mistakes. It can be used to deliberately create lighter values. I like to shuffle between erasing, adding sharp edges, and then blending, and then repeating to create the illusion of depth. You can also use your blending stump to create new strokes with the leftover charcoal on the tip. And then going back to creating consistency, I almost forgot to mention that I have found the most success working in circular motions. So now I will offer a demonstration of how I use some of these techniques in practice. Right now, I am creating my construction lines out of a medium charcoal pencil. I like to do it with this pencil because I don't want my construction lines to be so smudgy that they get lost, but I also want them to be manipulatable, and I want them to like blend into like the general cohesion of the drawing. Like many other artists, I keep my construction lines pretty loose, and then I always lay down like my darkest values first. But I don't necessarily like put all the pressure I need like right away. I like to take my time and build up. You're gonna see that I really utilize the shuffling technique here. It, with this kind of drawing, like for an eagle with like, you know, a lot of feathers, I think it's like especially essential to like get that kind of depth similar to what we see in the reference photo. The biggest thing that helps me achieve something similar to like the look of layered feathers is changing my pressure. So when I'm near my construction lines, I will apply more pressure and then less when I am away from them. Keep in mind that there are so many ways to create art with charcoal. It generally holds its reputation for being a very like gestural kind of art medium. Personally, I naturally gravitate towards precision when I'm drawing, and compressed charcoal pencils are great for this kind of style. When I am in my middle phases of creating a drawing, I'm really trying to create a general sense of form through a unified tone. In other words, I keep things more low contrast until the end. I decided to give our distinguished bird a subtle backdrop to help better define the shape of his head, because his head is white and so is the paper. And as you can see, I'm erasing the first layer to loosen the intensity of my pencil strokes, and then applying a new layer contrasting the line direction of said pencil strokes like we talked about earlier to create more consistency. I'll also use my blending stump and circular motions on top of the cross hatching to create even more unified consistency. And that about concludes what I have to say about charcoal pencils. The techniques are simple in my opinion. is really about building familiarity and intuition over time. I don't consider myself an expert, so please leave a comment if you have any other helpful tips. I'll speed up the rest of this time lapse. Thanks for watching, and until next time.